Yo, what's going on? Spellbreak patch 2.2 is live and it's full of nerfs, buffs, you name it. And today I got the highlights of the patch notes just for you, right after we get this intro rolling. So we're gonna roll this dang intro so we can get going. Yo, my name is Desrex. If you like this content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And as always, if you want to see me live, my live stream is going to be on Twitch on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. I'll be streaming from about 9 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. But without further ado, let's get right into these patch notes. So first thing that's coming back is duos. I don't know if you guys were around back in the pre-alpha days. Duos was here and it was awesome. So I'm glad to see that that's coming back. Well, goodbye squads for now, not in forever, but just for now. Next on the list that was brought up this morning, movement. So there's gonna be a change to movement. Your base movement speed is now gonna be buffed up. So no changes to what your boot speed's gonna do. So your common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary boot speeds are gonna stay the same. The only differences for this update is gonna be that your base movement speed without boots has been buffed up. Everything else stays the same. So that's pretty cool. So if you're one of those inspiring track stars out there trying to run around with no boots, you get to do it faster now. Armor got a rework, and that's going to be from the 40, 60, 90, 80, 100 to now 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that's pretty cool. So basically the big difference is that common belt that you used to get that started off with 40 now only starts with 20. But anyway, scrolls now will drop no matter what. So if you're full and maxed out on scrolls and you open a chest, you're still going to get a scroll whether you need it or not, and it'll just stay on the ground. In the past, scrolls would basically drop based on what you kind of needed. So if you had all body scrolls and you needed other scrolls, you might see a higher chance of mine, but it doesn't matter now. It's linear. So all the scroll drops for the chest are going to be even across the board and they'll stay on the ground. Whether you're maxed or not maxed, scroll drops would be the same. Also, scrolls have 100% drop rate now at Mana Vaults, so that is just to be more enticing for players that want to go to the Mana Vaults and risk it for the biscuits. On the talents, I'm gonna try to rifle through these really quick, so I don't want to take you guys' time. I'm sure you guys want to get right into the game. I'll go over briefly on the talents, and then you guys can hit the patch notes up, and that'll be down below in the link. So first thing up is going to be Escapist. So good news, if you were using it before, it was a buff. If you weren't using it before, maybe it's viable now. I don't know. I never really use it, so whatever. Focus mana, now this is my baby. I use it with fire all the time. So focus mana now activates at 80% mana or higher instead of having to be at full mana. So if you're good at mana management, then focus mana is your way to go. Recovery, well, it's got a little bit of a nerf, but it's still viable. I think I'm still gonna rock it on pretty much all of my builds, but we'll see. With the new patch out, I think I'm going to be tinkering around a little bit, but the duration has increased from 12 to 12, 10, 8, 6, and that is up from the 10, 9, 8, 5. I don't think that increase is going to be game changing, but it does make a little bit of a difference when it comes down trying to hit somebody with that last lightning bolt or wind spam to finish them off. Sorry, Stony boys. Okay, Harmony. They said that it's strong, but they don't want to nerf it and they don't want to give it a buff. So what they really did is they increased the points required. Instead of the standard 222 build, now Harmony is going to be 3 points instead of 2. So I'll still take it because honestly, walking slowly after you get Toxic Slap just sucks so much that I can't live without Harmony. But it all depends on your build. Like I said, I run focused mana on my fire build, so it's all up to you, but it's a nice change. Runic Fluency. The change in Runic Fluency is just like some of the other talents that got changed a little bit. The talent itself didn't change, but the points required to activate the talent did. So it went from 3 points to 2. So definitely a buff. Some other changes to Spellbreak in patch 2.2 is the party management. Party management now, when you get a party invite, you'll see a little icon next to the friends tab, so that's pretty cool. Trees were optimized. Lightning storm. So the lightning storm effects now actually show the boundaries of the storm, and it looks visually different. I think it looks pretty cool, so that's pretty dope. Memory optimization and performance increase. So if you're running on like low and medium specs, they said that some optimization was done through patch 2.2, so you might see a boost in performance on your gameplay. And then there's some other bug fixes, and I'm sure you guys know how to read, so you can just check out that patch notes down below in Reddit, and we can jump right into the class-specific changes. All right, first on our list, and it's probably my favorite and the best class in my opinion, is Pyromancer. Now, I know everyone's got their favorite, but this is mine. Let's get into it. One of the buffs to Pyromancer is that all flames now apply ignite to enemies for 3 seconds. So that goes from like having a little flame puddle right there and then walking into it and getting ignite. I know it does not ignite your teammates, so that's cool. Another thing is now when you hit somebody with a fireball and a direct fireball hit, you get a ignite charge on that person. So if we hit this dummy, they got ignite on them. Hitting them again does refresh the ignite status effect, but it does not stack, so there's no stacking effect. It just refreshes the ignite damage. Also, you do not get it from explosion, so you can't put ignite on someone by having the fireball explode next to them. As you can see, it just does damage. So that's pretty cool. I guess one of the big things they wanted out of that was they wanted to reward Pyromancer players with a little bit of something for hitting your skill shots. And skill shots, I mean actually hitting a person or enemy with a direct fireball. Great. Heads up, boys and girls, this one's gonna hurt a little bit, especially if you're a stony boy. But next up on the target is STONESHAPER. It did get a little bit of a nerf, but it's manageable. One of the first things we want to take a note though is that Accretion and Avalanche did swap spots, so that's notable. I do miss the old days where your boulder was like super big back in the pre-alpha days and it never changed size, but it is what it is. So let's get right to it. One thing to note right off the bat is Stone Skin now gives you plus 20 armor. So if you land in a hot drop and you get an armor potion, you actually can heal up to 20 armor. So that's pretty cool. And Stone Skin now passively gives you plus 20 armor. So one of the cool things about armor now for STONESHAPER is if you go over to a legendary belt and you pick that up, you actually get 120 armor. So because we're in practice mode, it's kind of hard to demonstrate unless I go look for an armor pot, but as of right now, if you look down there, it says 100 armor out of 120. So that's actually a pretty nice padding, especially if you're starting a fight late game to have that extra 20 armor. I don't think it's that bad, honestly. If we're being honest here, I'm kind of glad I don't have to hear my teammates consistently wail on the ground as they build up armor because they're too lazy and cheap to drink an armor pot, but whatever. All right, boys and girls, the time that we've all been waiting for. The nerf to Toxicologist. What the? It's not even a nerf. So outbreak damage, the bonus multiplier that outbreak has was been reduced from 100% to 75%. I was hoping for like they just take it out of the game. I'm just kidding, but I think that's a fair balance. 100% was a lot. 75, I think it's doable. It's fair. I'm not too mad at that. All right, next on the list after that will be your Conduit Lightning. All you lightning boys and girls. Now Conduit has continuous fire as opposed to its burst fire. So I think that's for everybody. So let's pick it up and take a look. Yeah, I could dig that. One of the things that were noted in the patch notes was that, or during the live stream, was that when you go to fire Conduit, your arm kind of goes back, so you have a slight delay before it's firing. It's just a little bit of a delay. No big deal. When you think Conduit, you think aim assist. I mean, honestly, that's where I'm at in this point of the game. But Proletariat today in their 2.2 patch notes release did say they significantly reduced the aim assist for Lightning Gauntlets. So that's pretty cool. That continuous flow, the fire rate was slow to 0.31, and that was from 0.25. Potential energy, that's something new to lightning. So potential energy now grants +1 damage for each successive bolt fired, not hit, fired, for a maximum of 10. So if I fire and reach over the target, it grows. So let's watch it again. I like that. I kind of like the idea if it hit the target, you would go up, and then if you missed, you would lose the multiplier, but that might be a little too hard, so I don't know. And then the other thing that was changed was secondary strike. They increased the number of strikes to 5 and reduced the time between each strike to 0.6 instead of 1. So just like I noted in the video earlier, the lightning storm has a different visual effect, so we'll actually get to see that right now. Pretty cool. Following Conduit is Frost, and it's got some needed changes to it. I think it's going to make the class a little bit more playable, but I do think this was one of the classes I least played. Yeah, I'm only level 6, so it's one I just pick up a Frost Gauntlet on my offhand. And so the Frost class increased ice skating speed to 24 from 22, and that's for all characters. Also, the Frostborn class, if you have the Frostborn class equipped, your acceleration is increased by 150%. So it doesn't mean you go 150% faster than everyone else, it just means you accelerate to that speed faster. Also, what they added was an increase to the duration that puddles last on the ground from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. One of the last changes for Frost is the ice prism. Never really utilized it too much because I just never had time to like sit there and hard scope too much, but they reduced the time for overcharge from 1 second to 0.5 seconds. All right, last but not least, Tempest. For Tempest, Squall now increases spell damage by 20% and provides 10% incoming damage reduction after 1 second of being in the air. It no longer scales with time spent in the air. One of the other things that I think is a huge quality of life change and playability is they increase the radius of the tornado that triggers updraft, because I cannot tell you how many times I've missed the tornado. And they also increased the secondary bounce from updraft up by 50%. And then another thing that they added to Tempest was they reduced the whirlwind casting animation by 33%. Yeah, that looks pretty fast. So, hey, holy crap, I sucked the dummy out.
What the hell are you? No! No! No!
That's it, boys and girls, for your Spellbreak 2.2 patch review. If you'd like to go over the notes in greater detail, I have a link below and you can click on that and take a look. Or if you wanted to see Proletariat's Twitch release on it, there's also a link below to that. But what did you like about the patch? What don't you like about the patch? And what would you like to see? Come find me on Instagram or Discord or in-game and let's have a discussion. But until then, I'll see you guys in the HoloLands.